Right, okay, so what we're going to talk about for the next sort of half an hour or so is just some things that I think will make a difference to you in your business. And, you know, forgive me if some of the things I talk about are obvious, but I will also say that sometimes the basics done well are often overlooked. Yeah? So, I thought I'd first of all, obviously it's going to be a lot of references to promotional products, as you would hope. I'm going to talk about the benefits of using promotional products. Then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the research that we've done over the last year about the effectiveness of promotional products. And then just look at a whole host of ideas to make you and your company stand out. Before I do that, I thought I'd just say who the BPMA is. Do either of you, I mean you can see it says British Promotional Merchandising Association, have you heard of the BPMA before? Got more marketing effort we're going to do with this. We've been going for 48 years. We're an organisation of nearly 600 companies, representing about 350 million. Firebrand is one of our more long-established businesses, and they're an accredited member, which basically means that they sign up to a strict code of conduct. They're financially vetted and checked. So if you've ever got a complaint in any shape or form about the service that they have, you can come to us as a body, and that gives you total confidence in being able to buy from a reputable source. Plus, one of the things I was saying in the session this morning is, please use the guys as creative brainstorming think tanks. It's not about just skipping through a promotional catalogue or indeed looking through a website. These guys have got huge amounts of experience in being able to meet your individual requirements. So, anyway, that's who the BPMA is. I thought I'd just share with you just a few things that sometimes we forget when we're talking about promotional products. Because so often you look at a catalogue, you skip through it and you think, oh, we need something. And also, we sometimes leave it to the last minute. There's a shocking amount of promotional products that are ordered within 5 to 10 days. In fact, something like 70%. Now that is good and bad. Good in the sense that it's a marketing source that you can depend upon very, very quickly. But bad in the sense that sometimes you're then driven by a lower choice, items not necessarily being available, and also if you want something bespoke and different, it's not always possible. So what I would say to you more than anything is when you're planning a campaign, and even if you're doing it for the whole year, make sure that you do so early enough and you think about promotional products as part of that. And I'll show you in our research as to why that should happen. So, some of the benefits, you've got gifts with multiple usage. And more and more, some of the studies that come out when we speak to recipients, they say the more useful an item is, the more likely a customer's going to keep it. 2.66 years is the average length of time somebody keeps a promotional item. Yeah? That brand every single day. A month, for example, we drink around 1,500 cups of tea and coffee per year. So that's how many times your brand and your message are being put in front of your customers. Yeah? Unlike a newspaper ad. Can you remember a newspaper ad that you saw recently? Can you remember a magazine ad? Can you remember all those selling emails that you had? Can you remember TV ads? If I was to say to you, can you remember 10 TV ads? You'd have to think about it. Whereas if I said to you, think about something you've got on your desk that's got a brand on it, you're using it and seeing it every single day. It's personal, yeah? With digital printing now, you can actually send something, so if you wanted to send something to 50 clients, you could put their name on each product by using variable. And of course, if you know that's going to happen, you've received a promotional item with your name on it, you're more likely to keep it. It's very personal to you. So think about that. Whoops. Shareability, conversation. I'm going to show you that right now. Here's an unusual product. You'd like to hazard a guess as to what that might be. If I said to you, the company is Commission Junction, and it's the message on there is sales arriving daily, does that give you any indication as to what that might be? The reason I'm bringing this has been everywhere. 50 years I've had this promotional product. Any ideas of what it is? Junction and arriving daily is written through. Right, it is. Well, it is a whistle, but in place of a steam train. It's unusual, it's different. But this is conversation. So when you're actually doing something with a product and you're sharing the idea and concept with other people, that has even more powerful recognition. And obviously inexpensive. Some items a few pennies. And there's more. You've got products that are engaging. You can touch, you can feel them. How many of you have went round the tables and have picked up an item, touched and felt it? Yeah. It's in your face. Yeah, 70% of promotional items are around the desk. Yeah. Durability, something like a digital photo frame, for example. So any of you that do golf days, for example, what you could do is you could have all the photographs of the golf event. You can have them uploaded and put onto that digital photo frame with the name of the event branded on the photo frame. And there's an instant relevance to a specific event. That director or that individual will keep that on their desk forever. It's the same with a mouse mat, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen the photo mat, which is basically a mouse mat, but in the middle it's blank, so you can put, the individual can put a photo of their favourite dog or their favourite cat. More likely to keep the mouse mat on their desk because they've got an element of personalness there. Think also about the different types of delivery options. You're going to send it through direct mail, in person, at events, or part of a kit pack. Somebody came to see me yesterday that has started a business in corporate cupcakes. And I have to say they were absolutely fantastic. So they came to see me with a pack of 4 with the BGMA logo on them. They looked amazing. What a lovely gift. I was really touched, yeah? However, not so easy to mail. So, think about that. You can mail mugs, of course, by having this special packaging, but equally, think about the packaging that comes in. If you're going to do a pen as a gift, and it's a nice pen, it doesn't cost that much more to have it in a gift box, but it just adds to the overall presentation. You've also got things like, there's a reward item, yeah? How many times they're not doing so many gifts, but on the pack of cereals, do you remember? That was a Special K example there on the right, which is like an exercise ball. And then you get on pack, even things like the PG Tips. What's that little puppet? You know the thing I mean? What's that little puppet?
Monkey.
Sorry?
The monkey.
The monkey, that's right, yeah. Huge. There was something like 600,000 beanie hats that was part of an on-pack. But because it was part of an on-pack, people used to say, well, I'll have that. So they got a lot of new drinkers into PG Tips because there's something free there. Things like, I'm sorry and thank you. Yeah? How many of you give gifts as a thank you? Yeah, as a referral gift? That's another idea. Or if some form of there's a service issue. Yeah? Do you know in the financial sector and the mobile phone industry, they spend millions of pounds on apology schemes. So in other words, they know they're going to cock up, and don't we know it, having been customers of theirs for a while. So what they do is they set up things like wine, chocolates, flowers to be on hand. So if a customer has had some sort of big issue, it's an automatic send for them and off they go. We're talking about a lot of money. Think about the personal impacts as well. So, for example, a keyring, the impact of a keyring, but not just a keyring. Have a little bottle opener with it as well, or a little penknife. So you've got multiple usage. We did a survey to 2007, and we found out the top 10 items people keep on their desk. And I think you'll find that quite interesting because there's nothing there. There's nothing there that's totally unusual, is it? Yeah? The point I'm saying is, often when we speak to promotional gift companies, they say to us, we want something new, exciting and different. I would argue what they want is something that's effective for their and useful for their brand. Yeah. So why not use the stable products, but be a bit more creative? Yeah. If you're going to do a mug and you believe that the services that you provide as a business is bigger, better than anybody else's, why don't you do a latte mug or a jumbo mug? Yeah. So with Firebrand, we'll give you more. So all of the other customers or the other logo mugs on the dashboard are all at that level, and you've got your wacky great big jumbo mug there standing out. Top 3 reasons why people keep promotional items. The highest is usefulness. Yeah, the more it is, the more they like to keep it. If it's a specific memory, and also if it's valuable. And when we did this survey, these were the results that came out of it. Yeah? Over half went on to purchase as a result of it. That's really, really powerful, particularly if you start to compare that with other forms of media. I'm just going to flick through some of the other things we did from some more recent research, because this starts to identify specific products. Yeah? Which one of these products do you find the most useful? And you can see there the USB stick, yeah, coming out as still very much the highest. When we start to do this differential between male and female, although we're not showing it here, we find more women prefer writing instruments and more men tend to prefer sort of gadgety electrical items. So when you're trying to target your audience, think very carefully about this. And this is another problem when you leave stuff to the last minute. It's, oh my God, we need to do something relatively quickly. Really think about it, and think about your QR codes, think about anything that allows you to track back the effectiveness of what you're doing. And actually, what we did do is we started to look at this from a cost per impression. So what we're actually finding out now is that it actually bodes quite well in comparison with other forms of media. Think of all the promotional items you have, which one have you kept the longest? And again, mug, USB stick. So again, these aren't specifically anything that's unusual or new. These are stable products that people use day in, day out. Think of the promotional items that you find most useful. Why do you keep this particular item? Again, I'll tell you what does happen as well, is if it's irrelevant, cheap and tacky, I think it does more damage to your brand. I really believe that. So think very, very carefully and work with the guys at Firebrand to help you do that. Yeah? And in your perception, which one of the following advertising media has the best ability to get you to take action? Yeah? So again, promotional merchandise comes out very, very strongly. Average result, 2.91 years is how long you keep a promotional item. Sorry, right, now on to my tips. The first one is be an educator. And for those of you that are on social media, you'll understand exactly what this is all about. It's being an authority. Yeah? Be an expert. I don't know if any of you get the chance to speak at local events. These are important opportunities. Seminars, go and visit a client with a health check. Can we review your business needs? Yeah? Analyse exactly what they're doing. I don't know how many of you write columns and blogs. Do either of you do that much? Yeah? If you can, do. It's amazing. If you ask the question, could we take a column? You'd be amazed. Sometimes they will charge you for it, but if you become an authoritative source and you add value to the publication, there's a good opportunity that you can do this. Get an opportunity to demonstrate. And when you're going and speaking at an event, make sure there's some gifts on the table, and you've got some pads here. But depending on the type of audience that you've got, leave something that allows you to come back. When you're going and speaking to people, try and leave an impression with them. Now, I'm sure you've had people come in and speak to you. I used to speak to people. I used to bring donuts. Yeah? Now, okay, they weren't promotional items, but what they were is chances out of 10, always the customers would say to me, would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah? And I'd say, well, I'm glad you've done that because I bought the donuts. You bring them out of your bag, but the point is you thought of them. Yeah? And it's the little things that really make a difference. If you, I mean, again, some of the things that the guys can do here is, particularly it's a big pitch or opportunity where you can do a bespoke promotional product. Like, for example, the cupcakes, you can go and give them those with their logo on straight away. Laptops, you can have branded at the front there. And again, uniform is another area. Do any of you, do you guys use uniform for your people? No? You have t-shirts?
Yeah.
On a regular basis, yeah. But, you know, think about it. You know, I mean, if you look at the people that come on the couriers now, what's the difference between the guys that look smart, look the part, and those people that just rushed in? It's an impression that you leave. You know, if you're doing a new product launch, you know, think about doing something with journalists, make sure that it's relevant. I mean, when Cadbury's launched the Cadbury's Dairy Milk with their TV campaign, do you remember with the gorilla drummer? Do you remember that? I don't know if you've been to Cadbury's World, but they've actually got a complete mock-up of that, of the whole gorilla there. So you press the button and he comes in, the whole comes into life. It's really, really good. But what I'm saying is it's all linked up. You can see they did a whole range of merchandise around it. You know, link that into Facebook likes. An exhibition as well, if you're going to be talking to people. Now, I've visited loads and loads of exhibitions over the years, and I've also exhibited, and a lot of people do it really badly, if I'm honest. Yeah? The two things that make a difference on an exhibition are the people on it and the method used to engage. Yeah? What used to amaze me is how much money was spent on the exhibition stand, how much money on the space, and then how little was spent in terms of any form of engaging technique. Yeah? How many times have you seen exhibition stands and they're like a big plinth and you walk all the way around them? Yeah? I remember once, Red Letter Days that were opposite me. I was a little promotional gift company, no more than, you know, this much space, and I had Red Letter Days opposite me, huge, great big platform, looked amazing. The two people on the stand were rubbish, they looked totally disinterested. I was working my little socks off, and I had, I say, 10 times the level of audience. I did have two girls from the other Icelandic tourist board, which might have made a difference, but nevertheless, it was some form of engaging technique that I used. Make sure that you use branded shirts on your for your staff. But if you are going to do that, make sure that you've got either the stand number or that new product on the back of it. Sometimes be a bit more vibrant. Use an orange polo shirt, use a mauve polo shirt. When I go to Marketing Week Live, I see Dot Mailer. I don't know if you know Dot Mailer, the big email company. Everybody's dressed in pink. Even guys, you know, but they are everywhere. You know, even when they're going to have a lunch, they're going to have a drink, they're everywhere. Yeah. If you're going to do a presentation on your stand, give somebody a gift and say thank you very much for coming along. Other people have done a Wheel of Fortune, so they give a gift maybe every 2 hours or something. And of course we know about a group attracts another group, what's going on this stand. That can work very well. Does everybody understand their role? Really important. Sometimes it's better to have salespeople that understand how to engage with people, not people that have been drafted in from customer services or from marketing that don't necessarily naturally engage with those people. You should definitely do pre-show marketing before the event, and it could be some form of teaser. I'll tell you what, when I used to work in the sort of events industry, one of the big hotel chains, they sent little white key cards as a pre-event mailer and said, we're going to give 10 weekend breaks away at this 5-star hotel. So what you had to do, of course, is you had to come along to the stand and have this little mini hotel door. So of course people were trying it to see if they opened it. And of course, what a great vehicle. I will say as well, you can use insurance risk companies. I don't know if you've ever thought about doing that before. Do you know what I mean by that? right, insurance risk promotions, go check it out on the internet. So we've had before a vault on our stand with £10,000 worth of cash in it. Yeah? And basically it was called Crack the Code. So people come along, they have a go, and if they can crack the code, then great, they will win £10,000. But because there were so many variables, it was all done on an insurance risk perspective. Yeah? So I think we ended up paying about £700 or £800 for the facility, and that was it. So I've got a professional person there, I've got the whole shebang, and there you go. Yeah? Same as if you're doing a golf day, by the way. If you want to use an Aston Martin as a giveaway, then you can. It would cost you a few £100. So you do a hole-in-one, you can walk away with that Aston Martin. But the course is, the chances are that's unlikely to happen, and they know it. There is somebody from the company that checks and vets it. So it's not like saying, well, if somebody won, then just let us know. It doesn't work quite like that. But seriously, insurance risk promotions is a very good idea. Follow up. 70% of people do not follow up exhibitions. Can you believe that? True fact. Yeah. And a little tip for you is send an email. When you send an email, make it personal. Yeah. Send it. Get a photograph of you and the team in front of the rest of the stand, and send that with the email. Yeah. Dear John, thank you very much for visiting the stand. I don't know if you remember me. This is us. It makes it look like, I'm back in that space. Not a random email that's totally irrelevant and that everybody else is going to. Do you know the vast majority of exhibition bags, do you know where they land up? In the bin or in the corner, because nobody has the time. So never give them too much at a show. Give them enough that they want more. Curiosity is one of the most powerful selling techniques of all. But of course, some people don't know how to do it. And this is an example of somebody in China that literally, and this is classically where I've been given a role to do. I don't really want to be there, you know. Here's another one. This is the British Institute of Inventors, which I thought spoke volumes. Another thing is to show your credentials. Yeah. In this world that we live in, yeah, people want trust. Yeah, so show it. Yeah, don't just say things like on your website, "Oh, well, we're great at customer service." Rubbish. I would expect you to be good at customer service. And if you are good at customer service, quantify it. So I want to see testimonials. Yeah, I want to see case studies that prove that you have done something or there's been an effect as a result of it. Yeah, if you've been in business for 20 years, you want to see that on the front and home page. If you've got accreditations, like you belong to an association or you've won any awards, again, show that. Here's another idea, is having fact sheets. Now these are like white papers, and then this helps to support you being an authority figure. So I did this when I had my own business for 6 months, and I had 200 inquiries to my fact sheets. And the difference is, don't give that information away for free. Make it available on request. So I had 6 fact sheets. One of them was how to run successful incentive schemes, how to get a return on your exhibition stand, 101 fundraising ideas, and how to reward your employees. Yeah? And I had one of them call me and say, and he was the marketing services director for Rentokil, and he said to me, can you send me the fact sheet on how to run successful incentive schemes? Or what is that at that moment in time? What is that? That's a huge buying signal, isn't it? So anyway, I send that to him and I say, "Dear Grant, I hope this is of interest to you. Don't hesitate to contact me if you need me." So what have I not done at that moment in time?
Ignored him.
Sorry?
Ignored him.
I've not ignored him, but I've not sold to him either. I've given him something of value. And then I wait a week and I phone them up and I say, "Oh no, it's called an first incentives here. I don't know if you remember me. I sent you some information on those incentive trips. I wanted to put some bit of meat on the bone. I thought maybe we could come together, have a meet, share some ideas about some destinations." We did, and as a result of that, I got a pitch which was £60,000 worth of business to take a whole lot of people to Russia. So there's the moral of the story by being credible in the first place. And how do you think you found me? Bearing in mind we're a little company in St Ives in Cambridgeshire. You found me by typing in the words how to run successful incentive trips. So sometimes the services that you are offering aren't always the ultimate need. Yeah? If you think about the guys at Firebrand, yes, you can type in conference folders, but there's literally loads of people that have got that search term paid for by Google, you can imagine, yeah? What do they really want, yeah? They're trying to put on a conference, they want more customers, yeah? So how to create a better conference as a fact sheet might be quite a cool thing for these guys to do. And ask for referrals, yeah? Tell you what, this is the cheapest and most effective way to generate more business. Do you ask for referrals? Currently?
We did some. We did.
The chances are you're getting them through the normal channel. If you do a good job and you get difference, is ask for them. Yeah? I wonder if you can help me, John. We've been doing business for a while. I hope you like what we're doing. I want to grow the business to the next level. Tell me, do you know anybody else that buys promotional products? Yeah, actually, I do. My mother and my sister are both marketing managers for these two companies. Would you like me to refer them on to you? Of course I would. Thank you so much for doing that. And of course, by them sending a personal email straight away, you've got that sort of warm connection and warm referral. However, if somebody has sent you a referral blind, what I want you to do is reward them. Absolutely reward them. And buy a bottle of wine or a bottle of some chocolates or whatever. Because if you do that, you say, thank you very much for the referral that you've already given. And thank you very much for the referrals that you're going to continue to give. Because good referral givers will keep giving. Right, if you're doing direct mailings, yeah, think about doing something different, yeah, with value. And there's all sorts of opportunities here. I mean, even when I had a previous business, Yellow Pages sent me a welcome pack and a box. And it was only a pad and a pen, but it was so well presented. It made me think, I'm pleased I've chosen Yellow Pages. It made me feel good, yeah? And bearing in mind, when you get a new customer, it's not necessarily a customer for life. You are on a trial. That first order is what it's all about. And once they feel comfortable with you, you're more likely to get more referrals. You can have printed envelopes now, any single colour that you want if you want to stand out. You can personalise them. You can see these little pop-up things. I don't know if you've ever seen anything that comes through the post where it pops up and springs to life. Pop-up mailers can be very effective. And you can do new customer welcome packs and include chocolate and all sorts of different things. You can also do employee welcome packs as well. So when an employee starts in a business, they feel a bit vulnerable, yeah? How cool would it be to have their own little mug, pen, so they feel included and part of the team? You can go the other way and you can incentivize them, yeah? Now, you can be bold in your incentive, yeah? It doesn't have to be, oh, you do this and we'll give you a pen, yeah? You could be, I could say to you, right, I'm going to give you an iPod, or I'm going to give you an iPad rather. And you're thinking, whoa, £300 or £400, why don't I give that away? All you need to do is you need to set the minimum order value appropriate. What I don't think works is these free price draws, if I'm honest. Oh, we'll enter you in a free price draw. People are cynical now about, oh yeah, that's never going to happen. That's going to be picked up by somebody in the business, yeah? Waste of time, if I'm honest. So I want to know, here's an example. In our industry, a few years ago, we used to have this cruise, one of the suppliers had a cruise incentive. So what I had to do is I had to grow my business by a further £20,000 in a time frame, and if I did, I earned that place. So I'm now not competing with anybody else other than myself. Yeah? Now, when I did it for 3 years. How many cruise cruise places do you think I got in those 3 years?
3 or none.
The answer was none, right? And that doesn't mean to say that I'm not a good salesperson, because I am, yeah? But the sad fact is that I tried very, very hard and I got nothing. How much do you think my trying cost that company?
Nothing.
Correct. And how much loyalty do you think they had from me during that period?
100%.
Exactly. I'll just bring you again. But the point I'm saying is very, very valid. Yeah? Loyalty and incentives can be very, 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 very good. Particularly working with dealers or other individuals. I mean, I know with government employees you have to be a little bit careful. But think about the audience as well. If you're targeting females, maybe it's a spa break or something. But just make it relevant to what you need. Fundraising, yeah, there's a huge amount of attention to cancer awareness. I mean, I've never seen so much branded stuff in relation to breast cancer. I mean, they've almost owned the colour pink, haven't they? Yeah, and great, how successful is that? So could you be a part of that by doing something locally or attaching yourself to a charity? Yeah, it's a great PR story as well. And it's also great to engage your employees.
Just done that we've got a golf day soon.
Have you?
Yeah, and we've given donations to Great Ormond Street. So
Fantastic,
yeah,
fantastic.
So we've just built all our pages and everything to do that.
And actually, if I'm an editor or a trade press, I'm thinking that's a nice. I'll take that story, because editors have a lot of pick and chooses. Yeah, make it fun, create a stunt. The other thing I think has been fascinating is to see the growth in what I call corporate clothing. Now, if you remember a few years ago, the retailers would just have standard, pretty plain uniform. You know, now, as with own lime green, Sainsbury's have owned orange, haven't they? So when those staff go off shift and they go walk or get on the bus or go on their bicycle, they're like a walking billboard. It's like, well, we're going shopping at Asda. But how successful it is. What we've also seen is what I would call a limited life branded clothing. So Boxing Day sale starts on, yeah? Or this was actually for Starbucks promoting their loyalty card, yeah? Or 10 pence off a litre of fuel at Tesco. Like very, very powerful, because you've got, people are attached to moving adverts. What about that famous stunt that was at the South African Games by those rather good-looking ladies promoting that competitive beer to the sponsor? Do you remember that? Big story. It was a South African World Cup, I think, wasn't it? One of the sponsors was Lager A, and Lager B tried to do a guerrilla marketing efforts. So they got a whole bunch of tickets in one block, and all these girls all came, and they're all dressed in their competitive shirt. I mean, what happened is they were thrown out, but the publicity was huge because they're all focused together on one area. You know, embrace social media, and I'm sure you already do. But all I would say is think about your profiles and what things are saying. If you start it and don't finish it, or you can't be consistent in it, then that says as much about the business as it does if you don't have it. These are the three I would suggest. Are you all on those as an organisation?
Yeah, we sorted out LinkedIn this year actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it working for you?
Yeah, there seems to be some good comments on there. It's mainly been used for new students and things like that. So
Yeah.
mainly.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, we use in our industry, we use LinkedIn as a forum. Yeah, there's two things really. I mean, first of all, it's a fantastic leads database. If you want to be speaking to somebody at Coca-Cola and you can't get in the door, just type in Coca-Cola, and I'm sure there's a second or a third connection there. And what it does do, it's amazing what people put on their profiles and where they've worked before. And we know if you're trying to make a cold call to somebody, you need that triangle link. You need something that draws reference to it. I think the new customers are communities. That's what really social media is about, is trying to create common interests. And customers are the same thing. Ask questions and certainly stimulate them with offers. There's all sorts of things now, where there's a cashback or a thank you page, if the customers sign up. I mean, you've probably seen them in newspapers more and more. The great thing about Facebook Likes is that it then creates a great direct marketing opportunity for you. We tend to use Facebook, I must admit, in our industry for lots of photographs of events. So we try to create a different type of persona. It's fun, it's lively, it's exciting. LinkedIn is a lot more professional, so what we tend to do is the more hard-hitting debates. What we do, interesting enough, in our forum is we're quite happy to see the order rant, and even at our expense. Now that's difficult for us to take that on board, because you think to yourself, I don't like the idea of a negative comment. But I mean, one person once put on the head of one of the discussion topics, why don't BPMA and Promoter just go away? Now can you imagine seeing a post with that at the top? I was happens to be by a non-member. I was absolutely furious. But what I thought is, what do I do? Do I take that away, thinking that that is unanswered and then it's policed? Or do I allow for proper debate? And so good I left it to the debate. Because what I got was a whole host of our members saying, you're off your tree, the BPMA, this, and this, they've done so much for me. So I'm thinking, whoa, I don't have to even say anything. What they say about discussion groups as well is, out of 100 people, 90 people will look, 9 will engage, and one person will start a discussion. So 99 and 1. Obviously, for those of you that are in PR, advertising, yes, still has its place, but I think we need to be more clever and shrewd more and more, using QR codes, trying to get stimulate something exciting and different. I still quite like the white space sales. Some of the adverts that Tesco have taken out about horse meat, well, you can't not see that because there's so much white space around the ad. It focuses the mind on that. And if you're going to do something, a single ad, it's not really going to work. It needs to be over a series. Sell the need and the emotion. I would be saying to Firebrand, don't have a big advert that says Firebrand at the top. You're not a national brand. I'd be saying, when was the last time you said thank you to your customers? ? And then evoke some ideas in the ad, and then at the bottom, by the way, it's Firebrand, contact, blah, blah, blah. YouTube is already huge. In terms of SEO, it's really, really powerful. I don't know if either of you have got videos on your site. The average view time is no more than 3 minutes. If it's more than 3 minutes, people will just switch off. So use it as either an education element or as a testimonial. Because if you're talking about testimonials, there's nothing better than a personal individual or even an interview. I'm not going to pretend to preach to you about what you need to do with your website, other than navigation is everything. 3 clicks and you're out. If I can't find what I need in 3 clicks, then I'm off. How many people do you think browse a website but don't phone or engage or email or speak to the customer? So what do you think the percentage of browsers are on a website versus none?
About 90%, isn't it? Something like that.
Okay, 90. What do you think? No idea? Have a guess. So you're looking at a website. How many websites do you look at and then you don't phone or email? So you're looking, but you're not. Yeah, loads. Of course, loads. But how loads?
60%.
60. It's 98%. So only 2% of people that look at websites on average make that call. So you need to be thinking about what it is that's going to create that stick that says, I want to know more. So the biggest problem with some websites, they give too much away. You've given everything. You've got no. So if, for example, that fact sheet I was telling you about earlier, you give them a nibble. with 4 cheese is available on the Quest. Yeah, sell the sizzle, not the sausage. Make sure you know where your traffic is coming from. You must analyse your traffic, or if you can't do it, get an expert to do it. And one thing is, before you relaunch a new website, please speak to some of your customers, yeah, and ask their opinions. I did this before I was about to launch a new site, and I said to my friend, his customer as well, I said, will you do me a favour, will you go and find me a quote on 500 mugs, one colour print, and I said, I'm going to time you, and I did, sat there in absolute horror. So I said to her, what are you doing? She said, I'm just looking for 500 mugs. It doesn't matter what she was doing, because normally I wouldn't be there. The point and the moral of the story is that what we think, when we see our sites so regularly, we become brazen to it, yeah? So really get your customers, and let them be honest and critical sometimes. Obviously, recommend a friend is also quite a good initiative to really stand out, make a difference. You mentioned golf days and things. There's some good kit here. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about these banners all the way down there. And if it's not for your company, certainly for some of the sponsors, it could be very, very striking. It could be part of a sponsorship package. So you say to them, well, as part of your package, we're going to charge you this.
Yeah,
but
we'll
we're
put
gonna...
the sponsorship package together, and that's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to speak to them. So. Yeah.
Invite clients and prospects together. Prizes for winners.